Most people don't know that Richard Childress actually drove NASCARs too. Here is Austin Dillon's 2019 American Ethanol Darlington Chevrolet Camaro. Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Welcome back to another NASCAR Diecast review. Today's car is going to be Austin Dillon's 2019 American Ethanol Throwback Darlington Chevrolet Camaro, and this is a throwback to his the team owner, his own grandfather, Richard Childress, and to the car he ran in the late 1970s. Now, this is a paint scheme at first I was not going to pick up, but thanks to our great friends over at Plan B Sales, extremely awesome Black Friday sales deal. You couldn't miss this diecast for $5. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this throwback out of the box. Here she is, folks. Brand new out of the package, and wow. So over here on the hood, you got the American Ethanol logo, and you got kind of like this like very vintage retro kind of like style font. I love that. That is just retro. When I think of that, I think of like an old cookbook or something, man. You got gold, white, and black. Then you got that just vintage. I mean, just a single stripe down the right side of the car. I mean, it does not get more retro than that. And you got the gold line wrapping around the Camaro front here, and just wow, dude, this thing has got so much retro vibes to it. You got the 3 here, you got your Chevrolet bow tie, a pretty decent job with the headlights, at least from what I can see. Everything's all black on the nose pretty much, but it's they did a pretty good job there. You got the RCR 50th anniversary logo, Moog, Edelbrock, Sunoco, Camaro ZL1, gold splitter. I dig that, dude. I dig that. Then over here on the left side of the car, you got the Goodyear logo, which is actually all gold. So thank you, Goodyear, for allowing them to do that. Of course, you got Richard Childress there. NASCAR race car. Also, something really interesting about this car is there is no Goodyear number 1, and there is no Darlington race car theme logos. So this was one of the first throwbacks to be released in 2019 alongside the Daniel Hemrick Caterpillar throwback. So I'm assuming Darlington didn't release their throwback images from in the time when they made this template for Lionel Racing, but on the actual car it said Goodyear number 1 Eagle, and this right here had the vintage early 2000s and 1990s NASCAR race car logo. So you got Mechanics Wear 3M. Richard Childress, you got the gold number 3, and it's a different style font too. It's not the traditional Earnhardt font. It's definitely a more plain but more retro font. I dig that. I think it's a really cool looking style there. And over in the bottom right, you got the vintage Bass Pro Shops logo. A little bitty Cessna logo. You got You got more of that kind of gold pinstriping all around it. You got American Ethanol. I like it how it's kind of like arced. It just wraps so well around the Camaro body style. Very skewy. I love it how on an American Ethanol diecast, the American Ethanol ring is all screwed up. I love that. I mean, how ironic. AAA, Dow Chemical. I think they're coming back in 2020. I think so. They took a hiatus, I guess, for financial reasons. I'm curious to see if they'll be back on the number 3 car as a primary in 2020, which I'm assuming they will. But don't hold your breath. You got Symbicort, Realtree, Austin Dillon. I love how his name is actually in the middle of the pinstripe rather than above it. I like that. Looks pretty sharp. You got Freightliner, Lucas Oil. What is that? Sherwin-Williams. That's an old logo of Sherwin-Williams, which is pretty cool. Coca-Cola. Over here on the back end of the car, you got pretty much an all blacked out bow tie up there. But you got American Ethanol. Got the gold number 3 Camaro. I like this little corners here on the back bumper. How it's kind of like wrapped like vampire teeth. Quite interesting. I kind of dig it. Not gonna lie. I got Okuma. Pretty cool back end of the car. Over here on the right side of the car, and you can kind of see a little bit more of that striping, but I mean it's like, to be honest with you, it's a really cool tribute because, you know, it's RCR's 50th anniversary, but is it a good Darlington throwback? You know, the more I look at it and the more I think, I'm going to say no, it's like the Caterpillar one. Yeah, I think it's cool they're throwing back to the early days of their company in the 30s and whatnot, but I just don't think it's a good Darlington throwback because I feel like you need to be honoring paint schemes that have already been ran. Sure, that's what Austin Dillon's doing here, but I mean, there's so many different paint schemes he could run. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this would be a cool paint scheme to run at different racetracks, but for Darlington, I feel like you need to bring something a little bit more flashy. I have no problem him running this paint scheme, just run it at a different track, you know, run it at, I don't know, Charlotte or something. I'd want to bring the most flashiest paint scheme to Darlington, because let me tell you, man, that will sell. And this right here, this just bugs the living just dog turds out of me. I mean, look at this. So you got the number 3 here, right? That thing is so far forward, it looks, you know, this looks goofy. Like, you got the 3 here, it's somewhat centered on the door, which I think it's supposed to be a little further back to kind of match the actual race car, but I still believe in keeping the number centered. That's just me. But on the roof here, I mean, you got the big old American Ethanol logo, right? And you got the 3 all the way pushed up. That, to me, just looks ugly. It looks tacky. It looks ugly. The number needs to be dead center in the middle. That's how traditional stock cars should be. Nope, I do not like that. That just looks... That looks terrible. I'll be honest. That just looks terrible. You got that retro stripe that brings us all the way down here to the name banner. And you got A. Dillon, because, of course, you got Ty Dillon as well on the racetrack. And, of course, you have American Ethanol on the deck lid. All in all, this diecast is not for everyone. It really is not. This is not a paint scheme I would recommend to everyone. Is it one of the best throwbacks ever? No, it's not. Is it a good tribute? Yes. Is it a good Darlington throwback? Absolutely not. And I would put it up there just as bad as the Daniel Hemrick one. I mean, RCR brought some of the worst throwbacks I've ever seen to Darlington. Look, run them at any other racetrack. I don't care if you run it at Homestead. I don't care if you run it at Watkins Glen. Don't bring it to Darlington where you got people running like the Days of Thunder paint scheme. You got Tim Richmond paint schemes. I mean, you got all these cool, you know, retro vibes that are actually good paint schemes that are flashy. I just feel like this is something that's a little bit more team personal, and it should just, I don't know. I'm a big believer when you go to Darlington, you're going to do the throwback, you bring the flashiest thing, you know, Eric Almirola 2002 Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, you know, his bright fluorescent orange and purple car. That thing's, I mean, look at the bubble paint scheme. I mean, all the colors on that thing. I mean, I just think it's a good tribute. It's not a great throwback. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. Let me know what y'all think about this diecast in the comment section below. Appreciate all those who tuned in. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss any of my new videos. With all that being said, guys, hope you're having a great one. Diecast Buffet signing off.